Welcome back to American Ground Radio's 4th of July special, What Makes America Great? I'm Stephen Parr, here with Louis R. Avalone.
And you know what? We are celebrating the 4th of July, despite perhaps the lack of approval from President Biden and Lord Anthony Fauci.
Man, we don't need approval from the government to celebrate our country.
That's what Biden said a few months back. He said, look, if we really bear down.
If we just focus
and we get vaccinated.
I'm not even kidding around here, guys.
Then maybe when it comes around to be July the 4th.
If you get the shots and the shots make you feel good, I'm not even joking. I was talking to my dad. I said, hey, Dad, we should get the shot. He said, Joey, I don't think there's the stuff and the things in the 4th of July. And I was just saying, Dad, maybe, I'm not even kidding around here.
That makes a whole lot more sense than if I was actually listening to President Biden. But Lord Fauci, speaking of just off the wall. And here's the thing. He may be an excellent doctor. He may be very intelligent, et cetera, but he's lost his credibility with the American people.
Yeah, I think polls are showing that. I think you're right on that.
I mean, because he's flip-flopped so many times.
Wear a mask, don't wear a mask.
I mean, and he's not only the highest paid doctor in the federal government, but he's the highest paid out of 4 million federal employees.
He makes more money than the President of the United States.
But see, that's where we, the people, have to hold our government accountable. I mean, that's really the beauty of this republic.
Right, because the second sentence of the Declaration of Independence says that government gets its just power from the consent of the governed. And there's a lot that government's done within the past 18 months that the American people did not consent to. So it was, by definition, unjust exercises of power.
Well, our next guest attempted to hold Lord Fauci's feet to the fire and bring to the attention of the American people that while Americans suffered, did you know this? Lord Fauci had lots of time to write a book.
I did know that. I'm not planning on reading that book because either he wasn't doing a good job with his actual job or he wasn't doing a good job writing the book. Because you and I have written a book, Bright Spots, Big Country, What Makes America Great. It's available on Amazon.com. That took a lot of time. It took a lot of effort. I don't think we would have had time to write the book if we were managing a global pandemic.
No, especially one that he never shied away from a camera.
So here we are talking to Senator Marsha Blackburn.
America, birthday to you. America.
And joining us now is Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. Welcome to our American Ground Radio 4th of July special, What Makes America Great?
Well, thank you. I am delighted to join you, and thank you for putting the attention on what makes this great nation great. Please.
That's our first question to you, Senator. Obviously, you serve this country. You love this country. What is it, in your opinion, that you think makes America great?
I like to say there are 5 things I get up to fight for every single day: faith, family, freedom, hope, and opportunity. And being able to live in a country where we exercise our religious liberty, where we can pray in public, where we can go to church, where we can peacefully assemble, where we can express our gratitude to God, our Creator, for the gifts that He has given us, knowing that we live in freedom, that we have a Bill of Rights that really kind of says to the government, your hands are off in these areas. And these are rights, these are natural rights, these are rights that are preserved to these individuals. How special is that, knowing that we have a military that defends these freedoms, and as we fight for these freedoms around the globe, as we go in to liberate, not to oppress. We never take an acre of land for ourselves. We do not exercise the spoils of victory. We liberate people to live their lives as they choose.
Senator, you talk about religious freedoms, you talk about freedom of speech. They are under assault in America. They're not under assault from other countries. They're under assault from Americans. I'm thinking of the Masterpiece Cake Shop lawsuits that's going on in Colorado. Recently, the Supreme Court upheld the religious freedom of Catholics in Philadelphia and in Pennsylvania with foster care. You talk about fighting for faith. How do you fight for faith when there are so many other Americans who are fighting against it?
What we have to do is realize that every day they are trying to restrict our individual liberties and freedoms and give power to the government. So it is up to us to push back on that and to fight for those freedoms and to fight for those liberties. So if we don't stand up and fight, then we will lose them. And Ronald Reagan would repeatedly say, we're always one generation, freedom is always one generation away from extinction. Why did he say that? Because if every generation is not fighting to preserve it, you will not have it. You will lose it.
And Senator Blackburn, you obviously love this country. And like you say, you get up every morning to fight. And I know that takes a tremendous amount of energy and determination. Do you remember, though, exactly when it was that you realized this country was something special? This nation was an exceptional country.
Oh, yes. I grew up on a farm in South Mississippi, and I was very involved in 4-H club. And it was through that and through teachers that I had at school that I realized there was a lot more world outside of that small area where I lived, and there were different opportunities. I was so blessed to have wonderful parents who encouraged me to read and to explore and then to appreciate our nation. The church and community activities, being involved in the electoral process. My family was very involved in the Republican Party. We were totally focused on making certain that we honored God, that we honored our country, that we revered those that fought in our military. We had such a large group of veterans in my family. Veterans Day was always a significant holiday that we would gather and we would celebrate. 4th of July was such a big day because we would celebrate the freedom that we had in our country, and we would fly our flags, and we would say the Pledge of Allegiance, and we would watch fireworks, and it was such a grand occasion that everyone enjoyed. So, and I will tell you one thing that I recently saw that I kind of got a chuckle. When I was in 4-H club, I was working on one of my projects. You would do your record book and you would handle different things. Mm-hmm. I had made flyers that I gave out in my community, reminding people when the election was and encouraging them to go vote. And I was all of 11 years old.
Oh, I love that.
So, yeah. So, learning that good citizenship. And many times what people will say, former Senator Alexander would always talk about how important it was for children in school to learn civics.
Right.
And history. And I totally agree with that. You do not know where you're going unless you understand where you've been, and you do not appreciate your community and your state and your nation unless you understand civics.
That is so true, and we appreciate you doing so much service for our country.
Absolutely.
And serving as a senator and fighting the good fight. Senator Marsha Blackburn from the great state of Tennessee.
Happy 4th of July.
And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.